What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. How's everybody doing? We got a wild priest over here. What's he doing? He's hopping around. Grab your coffee, kick back and relax. We're gonna look at some single target damage for Elemental Shaman. I'm not gonna lie. This has been really challenging trying to get the numbers kind of up to where I want them to be for Elemental Shaman. It's like, I don't know, guys. It's just really frustrating. There's just not really enough damage. And I just wish that there was. It's just, I've tried so many different builds. And the bottom line here is that you're basically going to want to be doing like a bit of like more of a fire build, a fire focus build, because Stormkeeper really doesn't help you that much in this situation. The value of Stormkeeper lies in the ability for Chain Lightning to overload. So you're not really looking at lightning stuff. You're not going to do Echoes of the Great Sundering, of course. You're kind of stuck going down this way, and you have some decisions to make. Do you want to get Deeply Rooted Elements, which I recommend that you do. I think it's the best way to play this. And then do you want to take Echo Chamber with Mountains Will Fall, or do you want to go down a Primordial Wave route? And I actually tried a Primordial Wave route with Heat Wave rather than Splintered Elements, and Heat Wave was really interesting. Casting Primordial Wave triggers Lava Surge immediately and every 3 seconds for 12 seconds. So it's interesting. I don't know if it was the best way to do it, and I'm going to show multiple versions of the single target so you guys can get a sense for what it's like. I'm going to do that in a second. Let me just highlight really quickly that the tier set bonus for Ele Shaman is, in fact, changing. And I want to make sure that I look at this really quick for you. Oh, of course, we have the wrong monitor. Why does it always do this? I haven't changed anything, but of course my Blizzard or my OBS just wants to do that for fun. So here's the elemental changes that are coming through. Let me tell you right now what it does. The tier set bonus right now says using Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, or Lava Burst increases the damage of your next Earthshock or Earthquake, stacking up to 25 times. Or stacking up to 25%, sorry. Casting Earthshock or Earthquake increases your mastery by 10%. So they changed the mastery bonus from 10% to 8%. They're going to be doing this next week. It's not implemented yet. Next week it will be implemented. This is the Season 1 Elemental tier set bonus. So they're going to nerf mastery by a little bit. That's fine. And now the 2-piece, 4-piece bonus will work with Elemental Blast, which is great. And now it also increases the damage of Earthshock and Ele Blast or Earthquake by 5%, stacking 5 times, instead of 2.5% stacking 10 times. So it's the same total percentage, but you're able to stack up the 2-piece bonus much, much quicker. So your chance of actually getting the full 25% bonus is definitely going to be higher, which is really, really great. That's what you want. So just keep that in mind, that is what has changed as far as the tier set is concerned. It's basically the same. It's just going to be easier to execute. So now what are we doing for talents? Let me look at this. Basically, you're going down the fire route, but I'm also taking Icefury. And with Icefury, I'm taking Flux Melting, which I think is really cool, actually. Casting Frost Shock increases the damage of your next Lava Burst. We have Master the Elements, which makes your Lava Burst increase the damage of your next Earth Shock, in this case. I do not think you should take Elemental Blast. It just did not feel good. Let me just say that right out of the gates. Get that clear. But you're basically going to be bouncing between, your Frost Shock increases your Lava Burst damage. Your Lava Burst damage increases your Earth Shock damage, and your Earth Shock damage always has a chance to reset because of Aftershock. And if you get resets on Earth Shock because of Aftershock, you can essentially extend Ascendance for a very, very long time. This is what Further Beyond does. Casting Earth Shock extends the duration of Ascendance by 2.5 seconds. So here's the build plan. Here's the idea. You're hoping to proc Deeply Rooted Elements and then extend it with Earthshock. And you're hoping that Aftershock will proc so that you can get a free Earthshock cast to further extend the Ascendance that you procced. Because during Ascendance, we now have this buff, Oath of the Farseer. You get 15% more haste while Ascendance is active. All the while, we take Wind Speakers so that every time we cast Earthshock, our Lava Burst is instant cast. We get a Lava Surge proc for free. Okay, and then all the while we're kind of supplementing that with the Ice Frost Shock damage here, which goes into Flux Melting, obviously increasing our Lava Burst damage. So it kind of all is a big circle, and it might look a little messy at first, and I'm just going to try and show you gameplay footage. The bottom line is I've basically only ever been able to get about 23 23,000 DPS, I think, was the highest. 23.7. So this was an extremely lucky pull where I had Ascendance uptime of 74%. Isn't that crazy? So that's like my Ascendance kept proccing from Deeply Rooted, and I kept extending my Ascendance window because of Further Beyond. So that's like the most ideal scenario that we could get. And I'm going to try and show you here in a second. Let me just reload one more time to make sure that all my buttons actually work. Because, you know, it'd be annoying if they didn't. Also, yeah, we are taking Swelling Maelstrom, which is good. It means if we do get a bunch of resets in a row from Earthshock, that we're not going to overcap our Maelstrom. So here's kind of what it looks like. I am going to blow Lust because this just feels incredibly bad without having haste. It just feels so bad. So we are going to pop Lust. Let me just do this, and then go. Here we go. So we're waiting for a Ascendance proc. First time I have to cast Lightning Bolt here. We are waiting for that Ascendance proc. This is always the case where you just might not get one, and that's unfortunate. But that is potentially what could happen. There we go. We got one right there. So now we want to extend it. Look at the extension in the top right-hand corner. Look at my buff window. I'm going to keep extending it. Lust is gone now, so we're likely not going to be able to do it anymore. But that's how it works. You can see we extended it for a little bit of time there. Okay, we're going to keep going. If we get another proc here, we are going to obviously keep trying to extend it. But remember, every single Earth Shock will give us Lava Surge, which feels really, really good. But see how bad this feels when I don't have any haste anymore? It feels so bad. Do this. Into this. Into our last Frost Shock. Every time we Frost Shock, of course, it increases the damage of our Lava Burst, which is really, really good. And then we're kind of just waiting for that Deeply Rooted element to proc again. Now, you could just not run DRE if you don't want to. There might be potentially other builds that are better. And I'm going to try and look at some of those today. But this is kind of the most basic build that I wanted to show you guys. And I was hoping, obviously, for Deeply Rooted to proc more often than it did. But it didn't really proc that much. But on average, we're hitting at about almost 20k. And it'll be a lot of Lava Burst damage, which is really, really great. And obviously, you can see Earthshock is there, of course, and Frost Shock. A lot of buffs. These three are buffing each other. Frost Shock buffs Lava Burst buffs Earthshock. Earthshock triggers Lava Surge for us, right? So it all is a big circle there. Now, let's say we don't want to do this. Maybe we just want to go for a more consistent approach. And instead, we're going to take Heat Wave here now, which I think is really, really good. And we could also take DRE and take Oath of the Farseer and just not take Further Beyond. So we're not extending our we're not extending it anymore. This is a very different look here, but let's try it out. So we're not extending Ascendance anymore. We're just hoping to get a DRE proc. But on top of that, we have this new Primordial Wave buff window. So now we're going to have Heat Wave. Heat Wave says, casting Primordial Wave triggers Lava Surge immediately and every 3 seconds for 12 seconds. On top of that, we have Lava Surge triggering from Wind Speakers on top of the regular Lava Surge proc. So this is like the Lava Surge variant, basically. Now, I'm not going to have Bloodlust up for this, but that's okay. We're just going to do our best without it. We're going to try this variant here. So this is the Primordial Wave variation. We are going to reduce the cooldown of Primordial Wave as well, and then we're going to get this big Heat Wave window. So here we go. We're going to do this into this, and we'll go Primordial Wave. There we go. So now we're going to get Lava Surge procs triggering. We're going to do this. Then we're going to press Earthshock because we're going to have too many Lava Surges in a row. We don't want to get too many. There we go. Ascendance proc. Now, we're not extending our Ascendance anymore, but we still get a huge haste bonus when we're in it. So that's great. We got another one. Of course, we always get the Ascendance procs when we don't have the build that we can extend Ascendance on. Isn't that always the way it works, guys? Always the way that it works. Here we go. Okay. Primordial Wave is back, so this is good. We're going to use our Earthshock, and we're going to use Earthshock again. Now we're going to press Primordial Wave. It's going to give us Lava Surge. It's not showing up right here, but there we go. There we go. Lots of Lava Surge procs right there. Boom. So this is a cool build. Oh, we got another Ascendance proc. I hate this game. This is always the way this goes. But you can see that we get so many Lava Surge procs that it allows us to just continuously press Lava Burst and kind of ignore everything else if we want to, because we're getting Lava Surge procs, from Primordial Wave, and we're also getting them from our Earth Shock. And that is a really important thing to remember. So let's keep it going here. We're going to go boom. We got a Lava Surge proc right away. Here's another Lava Surge proc. It's just you're always getting Lava Surge procs. We're trying to supplement with some Frost Shock stuff going on here because we want to get that Flux Melting damage going on. There we go. So you can see this feels a little bit smoother, I think, where you always have Lava Surge basically proccing all the time. It's just like feels really, really good. And because of that, you're casting Lava Burst a lot more, and I think therefore you have a better chance to trigger Deeply Rooted, which we did right there. So there's the Deeply Rooted proc. Again, we're not extending it anymore, but it's still really good. I like the I really do like the buff that we're getting from the bottom part of Primordial Wave now. The Heat Wave. I do like that. I think it's really, really good. So the damage is kind of fallen off at the end there, but over the course of a long encounter, I think that the damage would be about 20k or so. So most of it is going to be wrapped up in Lava Surge. I did forget to have Flame Shock up a couple times, which is a huge mistake. I lost like a lot of damage actually from that. But Lava Burst is going to be your big one. Earth Shock's obviously hitting really, really hard as well. There's the Overload, and there's Frost Shock doing almost 10% of our damage. Frost Shock is still almost doing 10% of our damage just because of Icefury. So a lot of you guys have wondered, why do I include Icefury in most of my builds for Ele Shaman? Number one, you just have to, if you're doing a fire build, there's no point in coming over here and getting lightning stuff. So you have to just fill out the middle section of this tree, and this is the best way to fill it out because it gets you down to Eye of the Storm really easily, which allows you to get down to Primordial Wave and other buttons as well. So Icefury is just a really easy pathway to get to other parts of the bottom of the tree that you want to get to. And also, I think Flux Melting is pretty good actually. So sometimes I'm not utilizing it perfectly when I'm trying to do my damage here, but I think it's actually quite good. So that's basically it for the builds. That's kind of what I wanted to show off here. I think the only other variation that I was looking at, and I'll try it here now, is we can do this. I'm not sure if I did this at the very beginning of the... Is this what I was doing at the beginning? Probably, right? So, yeah, I don't know how you get away from trying to have basically a Deeply Rooted Elements build. I think it's like a no-brainer that you should take DRE. I think it's a no-brainer that you should take Wind Speakers as well on single target on a raid boss encounter. That's the whole point of this, right? So I do think that that's kind of what you're looking at. The real question that you need to ask yourself is, like, do you want to try and get the extension with Further Beyond, or do you want to go for the extra overload damage here, or do you want to try this Primordial Wave Heat Wave section, which I do think is maybe the one that feels a lot better, because every time Primordial Wave is up, you're getting a guaranteed set of Lava Surges, which is fantastic. It feels very, very good. The only other changes you could make is you could drop Swelling Maelstrom over here, and you could take Improved Flame Tongue Weapon over here. And then you could basically do a similar pathway, something like this. And then you're getting 5% extra fire damage because you saw we almost never press Lightning Bolt. But then you're dropping the extra max Maelstrom that you would have. So it's a trade there. Like, if you get a bunch of Aftershock procs right in a row, you might be capping at 100 Maelstrom over and over and over again. You really don't want to do that. You want to, you obviously just want to never have capped Maelstrom if possible. But sometimes Aftershock can cause that to happen. So this is what I came up with, guys, for single target build for Ele Shaman. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really curious. Excuse me, what you guys think about these builds. I'm not going to lie. This has been a frustrating experience, I think, for the most part. It doesn't feel like Ele Shaman is in the best place damage-wise. It feels like they need to be tuned up a little bit. And I really do hope that Blizzard works on the tuning. They're obviously working on the tuning right now. But I just really hope they've done one tuning pass that they're going to show off next week. It's almost entirely nerfs, and Ele Shaman is not on that list at all. So We're not getting any changes in the next week or so, but I really do hope that they take a look at this because it feels fun to play. I'm not going to lie, it does feel fun to play, but it doesn't feel fun when like everybody else is doing like 30k single target damage and you're doing barely 20k. And that's kind of the feeling that I'm getting right now from Ele Shaman. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. How could I make this build better? Let me know what talents you guys might have taken. Is there a lightning variant here that you guys might have gone down? This is obviously me just sort of trying the fire build, but I do think that this is the better way to go. I just feel like it needs a few buffs. It needs a little bit of love to make it really, really good. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.